Real quick.
Whatever.
Sorry, my man.
But yeah, so back to what we were talking about. The fact of the matter is defense wins championships. And for OU to continue on this trend of making it to playoff appearances, but losing in the first round is not going to be acceptable for too long for Lincoln Riley. And he's going to need that defense to propel his team into that championship game. It's very important that Grinch and those guys continue on the trajectory that they are at right now. It looks like he has those guys thinking a lot less, playing a lot more freely, and letting them let their hair down and, attack the quarterback,
Yeah.
I mean, you can see it's flowing out of Buki's helmet and everything.
It was flowing last year. But it was a little different for Buki last year.
So it's very important this defense, stays on track and they continue to have success. Now, for the other side, I mean, Jalen Hurts, he has a little bit of wiggle room. He has a lot of weapons on his side. A lot of guys on offense that can, if he has a lackluster day, they can pick up the slack. CeeDee Lamb and Rambo and all kinds of guys on that side. I mean, Brooks and Sermon, those guys, they will help him along the way. Not to mention, this is a Lincoln Riley offense. Lincoln Riley will scheme and use his ability and his smarts and his gift to let this offense have success. It's not depending on Hurts. Hurts is a big piece of it. Don't get me wrong, but it's not him that's gonna have that shows the success that this offense is going to have. He's going to be a beneficiary to it, but it doesn't depend on him. This defense, they need to buckle down and have a lot of success if they want to be successful.
So you're saying the defense is more important than
I'm
Hurts.
saying the defense is way more important than Hurts.
Play the other side.
Okay.
Play some devil's advocate with you here. It's Jalen Hurts. So last year, Kyler Murray, looking like he would win the Heisman, ends up doing so. I think, let me ask you this question. If there was no Kyler Murray, if it was just an okay quarterback and the Sooners still were at the number 4 or 5 spot and the committee was trying to see, well, should we put him in, should we not put him in? If there was no Kyler Murray, do you think they would have gotten in last year?
Nah, I do think Kyler Murray and his Heisman winning season had a lot to do with the voters putting them into that playoff.
You don't want to leave out the Heisman.
Exactly.
Unless it's a totally different circumstance where he's on another team like Oklahoma State, a 10-win team or whatever. But no, they wanted to put him in because he was the most exciting player in college football. Jalen Hurts right now is the most exciting player in college football. So you can't leave him out of the Heisman conversation, and you can't leave him out of the college football playoff. So I think if he continues on this track of what he's doing, leading the nation in passing efficiency, leading QBs and rushing yards, doing all these certain things for Oklahoma State, or for Oklahoma rather, that have not been done in quite some time, it is more important than the defense. The defense just needs to be average, just average, solid at best. That's all it needs to be. It doesn't need to be a nasty defense. But if Jalen Hurts brings the play that he's brought so far, the star-studdedness that he brings, that carries a lot of weight for the committee. So, of course, it's Jalen Hurts over the defense.
But all right, here's my argument. Like I just said, this offense has a lot of weapons, a lot of good players are surrounding it. If Jalen Hurts has an average day, it could still look like a very top-notch performance from him and that offense to put up points on the board. The thing that needs to be done is they need to stop others from scoring, and not just people in the Big 12, but people that they will face in the playoff. It's more important that they have a defense that is impressive, where the voters can't look down the line and say, well, we put them in 2 years now and their defense hasn't really, done enough to be impressive. No, you have to have a defense that looks like they have changed, they turned over a new leaf, and that they are ready to play the top-notch schools in the nation. The committee will not put them in again if they look like they don't have a defense to compete. They'll give somebody else a chance.
Not if Jalen Hurts is the Heisman. I almost called him Jalen Heisman. Not if Jalen Hurts is the Heisman, though.
No.
They won't leave him out. They can't.
But here's the thing. Jalen Hurts is not, it's not a guarantee that he's going to win the Heisman. Kyler Murray, it was neck and neck between him and Tua, but he was very much a Heisman favorite going into when the committee was, making their decision.
Yeah, but I think as of right now, it's him and Tua.
But it might. We're early. We're talking about early in the Heisman
I know.
race.
And we're
That could
projecting.
change.
Well, sure it could, but do you
So
really
you-
think it's gonna? It's
so
the Big 12.
so you're
They're the
say-
best team in the Big 12
so
by
you're-
far.
So you're saying that you say, all right, keep Jalen Hurts in the fourth quarter of games so we can pat his stats and give him more numbers so that we can we can give our team a better chance to get into the playoffs, or give him a better shot to win the Heisman.
I want this dude. I mean, obviously, you want the Sooners want to make the college football playoff,
Right.
but why not have both? You can't have both. Of course, you can have both. You've done it the last 2 years, so why not continue it?
But when it comes down to the end, and you can't have both, the one that's going to get you in the playoffs is that defense. The one that's going to get Jalen Hurts the Heisman
Are
is
you
Jalen
watching
Hurts.
some of these throws that he's making?
Jalen Hurts
That
being
throw to-
a good player and one of the top players in the nation. It's not a guaranteed for Jalen Hurts to have a top season that they get it into the playoffs. If they have a great defense, they will.
So if their defense is just but Hurts, say the defense falls off a little bit, but Hurts is the Heisman, or it looks like he's going to be the Heisman. They go on undefeated, win the Big 12, or maybe lose to Texas, but win the Big 12 still. You don't see that
I think
carrying weight? You don't see that being more important?
I think that committee looks at it and says, nah, we've given them too many opportunities. They still don't have a defense. Nah, they're out of here.
I just don't see them leaving out Jalen Hurts because they want to see more of this. Hurts to CeeDee Lamb.
See, this is what we're talking about. We're talking about the team versus the individual. What's better for the team, or what's better for the individual? I think the team has to come first.
Yep, but sometimes the team revolves around one individual, and this season, that would be Mr. Jalen Hurts.
I think CeeDee Lamb would have to say otherwise.
I think you're wrong, but that's okay. You're wrong a lot of the time, buddy.
That's not true.
It's for sure sometimes true. Anyways, let's switch to the Golden Hurricane, shall we? I'm getting you a little upset. Sorry about that.
I'm not upset.
You're a little upset. I get it.
Defense is just great. Man.
They are coming off a bye week, but they will be going to face number 24 ranked SMU, who had a big upset a couple weeks ago. What are sort of your expectations for this game? This is a really, really big game for the Golden Hurricane.
This is a very big game for Conference USA as a whole.
You're right.
You think about it. This is the first time that SMU is in the top 25 since the death penalty.
Oh.
This is a big time achievement for SMU in the conference. So these guys are riding high. The thing is, at TU, I don't know if they score enough points to keep up with the ponies. Like it's weird to say that a Montgomery-led team is averaging 21.5 points a game. That is not impressive at all. But like I said before, defense wins championships. And TU has a very impressive defense on their side, and because of that, they can be in any game in their schedule.
Yeah, I mean, so say the defense keeps them in it. I kind of have some confidence of Zach Smith being able to make a couple throws late, and maybe Sam Crawford gets a touchdown. Maybe some of these other guys get in the end zone and score late, and then the defense can make a stop. I'm not ruling anything out in this game. It's going to be close, in my opinion, either way. So why can't TU win it? Why couldn't they?
I don't think it's going to be close because here's the thing. TU is dependent on their running game, and they're dependent on some of the guys that you're seeing on the screen right now. Shamari Brooks and other guys that run the rock for TU, they're dependent on them. I don't think it comes down to Zach Smith. I think it depends on if you can run the football. If TU can run the football, they can stay in the game offensively. You saw what happened when they faced OSU. They were very much in that game, leading at halftime 21-0. Then coming out of halftime, OSU finds a way to stop their rushing attack, and their offense falls asleep. We've got to remember this is still a young offensive line. Zach Smith is still, getting over that year that he had out. He is knocking the rust off, but there's still an offense that needs to run the football, and I don't know if they'll be able to do it versus SMU.
And there is one guy on SMU that's maybe a little scary, Shane Buechele. A little scary.
Former Texas quarterback?
For that defense. I guess you could say that that's something that they may be a little scared about. But still, I mean, if TU could somehow win this game, think of how big that is. And a weird fact, every opponent that TU has played so far this season has been undefeated going into the game. Isn't that wild?
I mean,
That is wild.
So what are we saying here? That they are the unbeaten, the beaters of the unbeaten?
Perhaps they've done it. They've done it twice. So why can't they do it a third time? I mean, it's not like they're going to, Michigan State again, right? It's SMU who's fringing on the top 25. They're 2 points out, or 2 spots out, I should say. So what's so scary about that? The only thing that's scary is that it's on the road, sure, but Tulsa played on the road already and won, so they have a little bit of confidence going to play on the road. So if they can get this win, this would be one of the biggest wins Philip Montgomery has ever had since the bowl game win in 2016.
And I would agree as well, but here's the question that we haven't asked as well.
So ask me.
Will this team come off that bye week rested or rusty?
Well,
because we've seen it before. We've seen teams come out that bye week and it does them well. But early in the season, when you have bye weeks like that, sometimes you come out a little rusty. And if you give SMU and that team a little bit of an opportunity for you to try and get back into form of game and game form, it could be too late by the time you wake up.
I think the bye week was good for Tulsa. They were banged up. Philip Montgomery said it after the win versus Wyoming. They were banged up. They're going to need the bye week. And the emotion of coming off that 24-21 win against Wyoming, that's momentum. They have momentum. They're a team that fights to the end. They were up 17-7 versus Wyoming. They let them come back in the game, and then they pushed through adversity and won the game. Travis Gibson and some of the other guys talked about it. They know how to push through adversity. They practice that all offseason with the strength coaches and some of the other coaches. So say if they can get a couple stops early, score a touchdown or two, the defense keeps them in. I could see this being an upset, and it would be it would be such a good win for them going forward with that bowl game in mind.
I mean,
but you're not as confident. So
I'm just saying.
It's all good. You don't have to be.
It doesn't seem like the most points they've scored all year is 34 points
you're
versus
right.
San Jose State.
But if they keep SMU down, they won't have to score 40.
Defense does win championships.
And you said it before, so. Yeah. That's right. When we come back, we still have some high school football to talk about, as well as some guys in the NFL that had some good weeks. So stay with us right here on the End Zone. We'll be back.
Other wireless companies need 4-page brochures to explain plans that are too complicated and cost way too much. We are not like the others. We are Bravado Wireless. We offer one line of unlimited talk, text, and 4G LTE data for only $40 per month, with no minimum number of lines and no hidden fees. This is your year to be bold, connect fast at the best price. We live where you live, and we are proud to be a part of your community here in Eastern Oklahoma. We are Bravado Wireless, and we believe in the power of connection. There is truly no place like home. Right here in Eastern Oklahoma, Bravado Wireless provides the best unlimited talk, text, and data for only $40 a month. We believe in strong, connected communities. That's why we live stream community events like local football games. You may not know us by name, but we'll be at the same festivals and cheering for our kids on the same sidelines. Because we live where you live. Visit bravadowireless.com or visit one of our stores, where we make it easy to join our family. Bravado Wireless. We believe in the power of connection.
And welcome back inside the End Zone, everybody. Jacob Toby, former OSU safety Deon Amade, high school football talk. We're going to talk 6A. Then I think this is the last real week before we have some other matchups in some of the other divisions that we'll be talking about here in the Muskogee area. But the last really big matchup in 6A until we get to the playoffs, Owasso beats Union 34-10. Owasso ranked number 1, Union number 3. domination on the part of the Rams, and it just seems like times are a change in here in the state when Jinx and Union have ruled this state for 20 years, and now it looks like Owasso and Broken Arrow are kind of taking that over.
Yeah, and I mean, you can't forget about Bixby. I mean,
And Bixby, too. Oh, you're right. If we're going to talk 6A2,
if
you're
we're
right.
going to talk 6A2.
They could be the best team in all of the state. Who knows?
In my opinion, I've seen a couple of these teams
Mm-hmm.
play. I've seen Bixby and some of them scrimmage, and right now it's looking like Bixby is going to be the top-notch guys. But for this game, as far as Owasso and Union, very much a dominating performance by that team going out there and taking it to Union. I mean, Jacobs, 183 yards rushing, 55 yards receiving.
Brother of who? Josh
Jacobs over there with the Raiders, and 3 touchdowns. You can't forget about the quarterback, Cole Duggar, 3 touchdowns on the night. Big time win for the Owasso Rams.
Yeah, Bill Blankenship has got these guys going on all cylinders. You see the interception right there. Their safeties and their cornerbacks are really, really good, and they have some skill guys. Duggar has been their guy since day one. I was at the first practice for Owasso this year and asked Bill Blankenship, is there a quarterback battle? He said, nope. Cole Duggar's our guy. And they knew that from the start. So that obviously meant he had talent. He's shown that. He's almost around 1,000 yards, or he's over it right now. Mm-hmm. He's around there. So he has shown that he can carry this team. And Jacobs,
he's a man amongst boys.
A man amongst boys for sure. You know, he's from, North Tulsa, so McLean would be the school, but ends up going to, Owasso instead. Mm-hmm. So they have talent, and it just, for people that have been watching Jinx and Union rule the state, I think it's a little unsettling or a little weird to see that some new teams are gaining traction because Owasso won in 2017.
You see it around town, like people are like, wait, what? Owasso beat Union?
Yeah.
Wait, what? Jinx lost to Bixby? I mean, times have changed, and hopefully these teams can get back on track, or they're going to have to get used to it.
And when I was on the field it was a Owasso game versus, I believe it was one of the Arkansas teams, and Bixby was beating on Jenks pretty well. Mm-hmm. They announced that score, and then the crowd just goes like it's that surprising for people around here. So it's interesting to see. Let's talk about the NFL real quick. Some alumni we have going on right now. Who you got this week?
Well, this week I want to highlight the former quarterback of the Oklahoma State Cowboys, Mason Rudolph. Last night, Monday Night Football, a top-notch atmosphere, top-notch performance from him, replacing the injured Ben Roethlisberger. He goes out and goes 24 for 28, 229 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Impressive performance by Mason. He was in that pocket, staying strong, firm, wasn't rattled, pressure came his way. He didn't waver at all. Just a good, dominating performance from him. I mean, I think the Steelers have their quarterback of the future, and I think they're starting to see it over there in the Steel City.
For sure. Also love to see that touchdown by James Conner, my fantasy team. Bingo! 3-1
Always
as we move forward.
For our fantasy teams.
Of course. But no, Mason Rudolph. I mean, have yourself a game. Ben Roethlisberger, who? Question mark. He's out for the season. It's Mason Rudolph's show. Before, when we had mentioned him on this program, we didn't know about the extent of Roethlisberger's injury. We just knew that Rudolph would be filling in for a little while. It's his show now. It's his time to shine. And he is proving why he maybe had some first-round talent grades out there, but was taken in the 3rd round. But the Steelers are pretty happy with that choice.
It looks like the Steelers got a steal.
Ooh, there you go. My guy, I think people know him around here, Baker Mayfield, goes out, basically dominates against Lamar Jackson and some of the other Sooners on that Ravens squad. 20 of 30, 342 yards, a touchdown, did throw a pick as well. But you started seeing, Baker struggled at the beginning of the season. Now he's getting into his rhythm a little bit. The throws are a little bit crisper. He's finding different guys. The only thing that was kind of weird about this game was that Odell Beckham Jr. I don't think he caught a pass in this game.
Yeah, which was unusual. He threw one.
He threw one, but he didn't catch a pass. It was basically the Jarvis Landry show, which I was okay with. Fantasy team. Not going to lie. But, yeah, so look at him trying to stay up there. But, I think Baker just continues to get better and better. Browns are 2-2. They can only go up from here. A little rough start, but they're pretty happy with his play.
But yeah, but still, I mean, one interception on the evening.
Okay, yeah.
Still holding the ball a little too long in that pocket, not really helping that offensive line out. But other than that, he's having some success, especially last Sunday. So hopefully that continues on for the Cleveland Browns and Baker Mayfield.
For sure. And going back to some high school football before we get out of here, you'll be on the call for Seminole versus Lincoln Christian. Lincoln Christian, undefeated. Seminole, 3-1. What intrigues you about this matchup that you'll have on Friday night?
First of all, it's one of the top games in the state.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I think Barry Lewis and the Tulsa World nominated like the 4th best game in the state. 4th or 3rd, I can't remember right now.
It was around there, yeah.
Yeah, around there. So I'm looking forward to some great football by both of those schools. It should be impressive. Check in on Friday and then catch it on with me.
Yeah, it'll be streaming on bravadowireless.com at 6:30, and the game I believe is 7 o'clock kickoff.
Yep. 7 or 7:30.
So yeah, either one of those. Can't remember, but 6:30 they'll start the stream. You guys will have some pregame coverage as well. And one thing for Lincoln Christian, I've covered them for Channel 2 before, and Chase Rickey is their quarterback. He's really, really good. His dad is the head coach there, Jerry Rickey. He's been there 18 years. So they have a lot of success there at Lincoln Christian. They're undefeated this year. They've got momentum. They've got a quarterback, and the most important guy that you want, if you want a steady guy, is your quarterback. So they got it.
Got to have a QB.
So it's cool to see them interact, dad, son type thing. They had said that it's not an issue, so
Sure
obviously it's not.